What's up everybody, it's Seth from Fowler Customs, and today I'm reviewing the brand new Air Force 1 Special Forces in the string colorway. Thanks so much for tuning in today, guys. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't yet. But with all that out of the way, let's get into it. So in 2016, Nike released the first version of the Special Forces Air Force 1, and I gotta say, I really love that shoe. The only problem was, it was really tough to get. And I mean for good reason, because it's a great looking shoe and the colorways that they dropped were just fire. I loved every one of them. But I gotta thank the Nike gods because it looks like the Special Forces Air Force 1 will be making a huge return in 2017. And by some crazy stroke of luck, I was able to grab one of the first colorways that released this year, the string colorway. But more about the shoe in a second. Before we get into the review, let's take a look at the box. Of course, because it's a giant military boot, it comes in a giant box. It's basically a giant semi-gloss black box with these silver hits with the Nike logo. You got some other random verbiage on the bottom, nothing special. And of course on the front you've got the size tag. I got a size 9, my true size. However, this does fit like normal Air Force 1, so you can size down a half size if you really want to. One thing that really blew me away about this shoe is that it was only priced at $165, which for the quality of materials that you get and just the pure dopeness of the shoe, that sounded stupid. What I'm getting at is that I think it's a steal for $165. Of course, as you've already seen, I've got the string colorway, and if there's any doubt left in your mind, the official colorway of the shoe is string. That's not a joke, that's the actual colorway. But now that we've got this giant box out of the way, let's get into the shoes. So without further ado, here it is, the Special Forces Air Force 1 in the string colorway, as I mentioned. This is honestly a really dope shoe, and I'm stoked that I grabbed these. As I mentioned before, they are releasing a lot of different colorways of this shoe in the coming years, so it's not going to be too difficult to get in the future. This release was kind of tough, especially with Nike pushing it back and then pushing it forward and all that craziness. But I don't think these colorways that just dropped were as difficult to get as the last drop in 2016. And also the way I got my pair was kind of crazy lucky because I walked into Kith Manhattan and they just happened to have one left in my size, which is kind of crazy. I guess if I'm honest, it hasn't been that crazy because Kith always seems to have random releases left over, and every time I go there I find something that I would never expect to find. I love that store. It's great. Their online releases though are a different story. I've never been able to grab anything off their website. That part sucks, but other than that, it's a great store. But enough with that tangent, getting back into the shoes themselves. The entire upper is dressed in this sort of light tan or beige color. Of course, Nike's calling it the string colorway. The midfoot to the toe of the shoe is covered in suede, or possibly nubuck, but it seems to be a little bit rougher than nubuck usually is, and that's usually a sign that they're using suede. Either way, I don't really care what material it is, it looks great. One downside though I should mention is that when you have a suede-like material, it doesn't do well in water and in snow, so although this is technically a winterized boot, this material probably won't hold up as well as the rest of the shoe. So just something to keep in mind if you're buying this shoe for more wintry conditions. You've got these metal accents on the eyelets and on these ventilation holes on the midfoot. Moving back on the shoe, the heel and the ankle area are covered in this ballistic nylon material, which should be waterproof. I'm not gonna test it to be completely honest, but the reason I think that, besides just the nature of the material, is also that the tongue is actually connected to the side of the shoe, and a lot of times boots that have a connected tongue are usually waterproof. While we're talking about the tongue, something you may not know about this silhouette is that it actually has a hidden pocket that's not only buttoned, but velcroed. I wouldn't have any idea what you might want to store in there. Trunk pocket! But whatever the reason it's there for, I'm sure it'll be useful for somebody. One thing you'll notice when you get this version of the Special Forces AF1 is that it comes with an extra strap. Now, one difference between this release and the last release is that last time around your second strap was actually a paracord, and I think some people actually got that on a duffel bag. This time around, as I mentioned, you just get another strap. It's actually the exact same strap as the one that's already on the shoe. I actually put it on the other shoe so that you guys can get an idea of what it looks like. I personally dig the way it looks with two straps, so I'm definitely gonna rock it this way. It just looks tougher and more utilitarian. I think it's a dope look. Of course, on the medial side of the shoe where you don't have the strap clips, the top strap actually has this little patch, and the patch actually says winterized issue footwear, type SF AF1, and then it's got a bunch of other information, and personally I think that patch looks really cool. Moving to the heel of the shoe, you've got a nylon tab with a lot of different loops so that you can put each strap through them. As I said before, this shoe fits just like a regular AF1, so you can go down half a size, but you should be fine going true to size if you really want to. I did, but that was purely out of necessity just because that was the only size they had left at Kith. Moving down the shoe, the midsole is the same shade of beige as the rest of the shoe. And finally, moving to the bottom of the shoe, you've got this really great gum outsole. And again, this does differ a little bit from the previous release, in that in the previous release, the entire midsole and the outsole was gum, but this time around it's just the outsole. Just like every other shoe tuber, and I'm sure a lot of you guys, I really love gum outsoles, but on this particular silhouette with this colorway, I kind of would have liked it if they had stuck with the beige theme and made the outsole beige as well, but it's really not a big deal. Overall, this is a sick silhouette, and I'm really happy that Nike's coming out with more colorways just so that this shoe is more available to people, because to be honest, $165 is a crazy price for what you're getting with this shoe. I might have actually been willing to pay resale on this shoe. I mean, resale is only like $250, $300, and you're getting a lot of good shoe for that money. Now that we've got the review out of the way, let's put these guys on feet and see how they look.
Ryan Little.
That's pretty much it for the video today, guys. Make sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below letting me know what you think of the Special Forces Air Force 1 and also what colorways you'd like to see on this shoe in the future. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to Fowler Customs if you want to see more content just like this, and follow Fowler Customs on Instagram and on Twitter.